quit, love is kind, but love is only a state of mind. It's in your heart and in your soul, where nothing hurts like letting go of all you had, go of all you want, and surrender to a higher cause. And we will jump straight over the field. I know it's right, oh baby, this is how I like to feel. I know it's right, oh baby, this is how I like to feel. I know it's right, oh baby, this is how I like to feel. I know it's right, oh baby, this is how I like to feel. I know it's right, oh baby, this is how I like to feel. Clocks are ticking all the time, but I can show you where to find all the colors of your dreams. The world is opened up to me. It's how we feel, this is how we ride, as we find our place in the afterlife. And if we don't, this is how we kneel. And I know it's right, oh baby, this is how I like to feel. I know it's right, oh baby, this is how I like to feel. I know it's right, oh baby, this is how I like to feel. I know it's right, oh baby, this is how I like to feel. I know it's right, oh baby, this is how I like to feel.
You say you love me, but I don't think that is true. It's all for you, all that I do. It's hard to escape all the problems in your brain, but it's okay. When things don't go your way, I said, girl, don't lose your faith, 'cause you won't always be alone. You're more than your mistakes, and me you'll always have. your face. I'm trying to deal with all the money and the fame, but it's okay when things don't go your way. I said, girl, don't lose your faith, 'cause you won't always be alone. You're more than your mistakes. You'll always have a home in your heart, in your mind. Well, I saw in your eyes that I need to let go. I said, girl, don't lose your faith. Don't lose your faith. That was good. I said, girl, don't lose your faith, 'cause you won't always be alone. You're more than your mistakes. You'll always have a home in your heart, in your mind. Well, I saw in your eyes that I need to let go. I said, girl, don't lose your faith. Don't lose your faith.
Running in circles, never leave me alone. Say I don't answer the messages or pick up my phone. Say we all need some time just to settle down. Won't you come around, 'cause I never can leave it alone. Tell me your stories, but don't leave out the lies, 'cause I know I got some problems and I'm open to mine. So we all need some time just to settle down. Won't you come around, 'cause I never can leave it alone. Talking about somebody rolling, boulevard dining, making it count for efforts I can't explain. Ballin' and feeling we drowning, never been humbled by playing the fighter. Never been broken, never been bothered, suddenly changing, thinking I'm never amounting to nothing. Been chasing a stereotypical fantasy, acting like everything happens for reasons, still I just might hit. Been making me lose my mind, but telling myself why the hell did I write shit? When you sit there with your long legs, but bitching about something I don't know. Then you walk away realizing it's so predictable where we just won't go. And that's wedding bells in a chapel, been nibbling on the wrong apple. Living life emotions you never can manage, they picking me out of a raffle. Number one heartache coming from memories, number two pencil style. We straight now, going opposite ways. These opposite days are making me think what to say now, and that's real. Running in circles, never leave me alone. Say I don't answer the messages or pick up my phone. Say we all need some time just to settle down. Won't you come around, 'cause I never can leave it alone. Tell me your stories, but don't leave out the lies, 'cause I know I got some problems and I'm open to mine. So we all need some time just to settle down. Won't you come around, 'cause I never can leave it alone. Been coming in closer, been taking my time when they speeding off, writing and signing these deals they supposed to. I don't get motivation for something I wanna pursue, spitting hotter than toasters. Saturday grinding, I'm better off sitting back, mixing and chilling some fucking mimosas. Should we toast her, making $1,000 in my pocket? Like fine, that's good for me now. Or say fuck it, I'm taking my shit to some levels and bringing my friends overseas now. I can do it, but promise me every time I'll be down lower than hell. You digging me back to the surface, rocking the stage. You think I'm just cocky, but really I'm drowning inside, feeling nervous. Sound of the violins of the alarm clock, they waking me up when the harm stop. I'm dreaming we staying together, but honestly you kinda act like it's all games. And I'm tired of this, but it's sad 'cause I feel like you fine with this. And I'm mad as hell, but I cry for this. Just wasting my time, but it feels my game. Spit a rhyme to this, and that's real. Running in circles, never leave me alone. Say I don't answer the messages or pick up my phone. Say we all need some time just to settle down. won't you come around? Cause I never can leave it alone. Tell me your stories, but don't leave out the lies. Cause I know I got some problems and I'm open to mine. So we all need some time just to settle down. Won't you come around? Cause I never can leave it alone.
You can't even look me in the eyes when you say you'll make this right. I've heard all these words 1,000 times. You won't ever change your ways, doing what you like. Well, I'm no one's fool. Well, you can keep on talking, talking. No one say don't mean nothing, nothing. The single thing again and again. Well, I know what's fool. I get you back to walking, walking. 'Cause this time I'm not joking, joking. I've been on this again and again. Well, I know you would wipe away my tears, so sincere. Turn gray skies to blue. You won't ever change your ways, doing what you do. Well, you can keep on talking, talking. No one say don't mean nothing, nothing. The single thing again and again. Well, I know what's fool. I get you back to walking, walking. 'Cause this time I'm not joking, joking. I've been on this again and again. Well, I know There was a time when I was alone, nowhere to go and no place to call home. My only friend was the man in the moon, and even sometimes he would go away too. Then one night as I closed my eyes, I saw a shadow flying high. He came to me with the sweetest smile, told me he wanted to talk for a while. He said, Peter Pan, that's what they call me. I promise that you'll never be lonely. And ever since that day,
Peter Pan, that's what they call me. I promise that you'll never be lonely. Peter Pan, that's what they call me. I promise that you'll never be lonely.
Bam! And we're live for the last day of development of week 2. And today we actually do have a special guest. Why don't you say hello, Thomas, the Sabotender?
Hello. Yeah, my name's Thomas. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, what we're going to be doing today, together with Thomas, is we're going to go over a couple of the issues that we were having yesterday, specifically regarding the cards and what sort of entity they should be, and how we want them to interact with the game field, and the possibility of them being in the UI versus not. So, I'll leave it over to Mats here to try to explain this conundrum that we're having.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. If I need to jump onto the right scene. Okay. So the first problem that we had was that when we get the cards into the hand, they are they're not flat. So if you add like a lot of the cards into the hand, you can see that they are being used by the perspective, or they have a perspective, which is a problem. And we tried to fix it using a second camera that only views the cards, and that camera was orthographic. However, there were some problems where that camera didn't always want to render the cards, but other than that, that wasn't a problem. And then Mats wanted us to have the cards on the UI. So I changed the cards because they were previously cards with let's see,
Canvas.
yeah, there were 2 canvases on a in a game object, because I made them like that because then they if I just had put everything under one canvas, the backside of the card wouldn't render when I looked at it from the back.
Yeah.
So I figured out that if I just put the canvas or 2 different canvases, one in front, it would render like I wanted it to. And that was completely fine. It worked completely fine. No problems there. But on the new system, I added or I made the card again, but as a canvas object. So they're basically 2 different or just sub-objects of a canvas.
Yeah.
But I added the canvas component to the backing. And right now, of course, it doesn't work completely fine. Why, you know what?
And the main issue I can see happening with this is that when you have a lot of cards, that's going to be a lot of canvases, which means a lot of different draw calls, because each of them have a separate draw call. which on some lower end PCs will be an issue. One thing that we tried in the company I used to work for was because we tried several alternatives as well for cards.
Mm.
And what we did was that we basically had two different game objects, the front and the back.
Mm.
And then as the card flipped, like mid animation of it turning, we just turned one off and turned the other on,
Yeah.
and then flipped it back, sort of, because then we would always have one of the two objects showing, whether it's front or back.
Mm.
But we in the end we did drop using Canvas and went 3D
Yeah.
because we wanted some thickness to the cards, and if you check out other card games like Hearthstone, etc.,
Mm.
if you freeze frame a YouTube video, for example, you can use comma and punctuation buttons on your keyboard to skip one frame at a time on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you do that and find the frames where you can see cards flipping, you see that they are actually 3D. They are pretty flat, but they are cubes, not planes.
Just a quick interruption here. I'm gonna change the server of the Discord because we're having a lot of like like weird artifacting on the sound. So just bear with me for a moment.
Sure.
Okay, testing. Is it better now? Shouldn't have disconnected. Try talking, Thomas.
Yeah, hello. I'm going to try
Oh,
talking now.
No, I actually think it's just his mic.
Huh?
I think it's
No,
Maybe.
it's because I could hear it on Mods as well. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really?
Oh, never mind. Actually, yeah, this is your microphone, Thomas. Okay, never mind. Continue on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will try to talk louder and clearer.
Well, it's not. It's almost as if the headphone jack isn't completely in or something, because it's like,
Oh, it's a wireless headset, so
well, it's like your wires aren't completely in then.
yeah, maybe.
Either way, sorry for interrupting. Continue on.
Yeah. I tried to actually do or like you did on
Yeah.
the card. Try to flip or rotate when you rotate the card. You just turn off the front or the back.
Yeah.
Well, I tried to ask Mats if that was something we could do, but he told me it was too much of a hackfuck.
Well,
and it would
I
look strange.
actually, yeah, the thing is, like, I was already on that train of thought that was like, why don't we just make them 3D objects? Because we have so many interactions where the cards like get drawn from the board, where the cards are flipped while on the table, from different perspectives. There's going to be quite noticeable if there's no thickness or if there's no like, if there's no rigidity to them. So I don't know. That's kind of my what I thought, and that's kind of why we brought you on as well, because that's essentially the crux of the issue. Because if we went for 3D objects, that would render quite a lot of what Matt's already's done mute. Not all of it.
Render.
Yeah.
The biggest advantage of using a single canvas though is that you have lots of nice sorting and stuff.
Absolutely.
One thing that could be a possibility is to have 3D cards on the playfield, cards that have been played, and the draw piles and stuff. But then your hand can be GUI, because it's not that hard to find code to convert space, so you can easily have that the card disappears from your hand on the GUI on the canvas. It basically just moves up a bit and instantly disappears, and then you spawn the 3D version in the exact same place and move it towards the table.
So essentially a hybrid version of the two.
Yeah.
Because you use the canvas versions for the GUI, because then that's where you need most of the sorting functions, and that's where you want the game to be able to read the contents of the card.
Yeah.
And then when you actually want to put it in play, that's when the 3D objects. And with the way we've designed the UI so far, that's going to be quite easy to do. Even we've intended it to go underneath the player's view, essentially, so it goes down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Also, while it's on the GUI, the canvas, you in your hand, you don't need it to flip or anything either.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just the sorting you want.
Yeah, that would be perfect, don't you think, Mats? Because that's
yeah.
essentially solving two of our problems, and as well leaving options open for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the real question though is, because what happens when you do the 3D object? What sort of 3D object does it become? You know, does it actually does it have a material that is the card information, or how do you
Yeah,
convert?
you need to make a prefab for cards, and then you set different properties like you do exactly like you do on the canvas version. So you would set the
Yeah.
title, the body text, the picture.
Mm.
So you do it exactly the same way.
I've already made one of each version, so one for UI
Yeah.
and one normal. So I can
Yeah.
just and then I can use the same system to populate both of them.
Yeah.
With information. One more thing that we figured out is that when on the canvas, so I just made a new canvas here.
Mm.
I have just the normal card version 2 in the game field here. The title is completely wrong. It's so stupidly blurred and big.
Yeah.
But that's because I changed it in the UI or the screen space overlay canvas.
Yeah.
Because in the screen space overlay canvas, it's actually more like it's supposed to be in the size. So
Yeah.
I've changed it to so that I can see it here. It's of course not using the right showing me the right thing, but yeah. Why you don't want to show me the right thing though? But yeah, let's see. I can just turn off the backing. There we go. So if I jump over to the screen space canvas, you can see that all the icons are the right size.
Yeah.
But the text, for example, the subtitle, which worked on
Yeah.
the game field canvas, are just so small.
Yeah.
And no matter what I do, nothing can change the size of it. It's like
Yeah.
it can't get
I think
any
what
bigger.
I think what you need to do is see, I've got Unity open here as well, so I can find canvas. Because what I think you need to do is set the let's see, I'll just make a new canvas. Set the canvas scaler to be not to be constant pixel size, but be scale with screen size, I think.
Okay.
Because then it has a more consistent ratio between all your objects.
Mm.
And then you probably don't want to use screen space at all, but use world space.
Yeah.
Since it's going to be moving around in 3D.
Hmm.
Because that's one thing. Like the constant pixel size is not very good for when you have multiple aspect ratios and resolutions.
Hmm.
So that's why it's better to use something like scale with screen size, because then it's scaling. As you see, it says 800 by 600. It's scaling as if it was that.
Yeah.
So it has a reference resolution instead of a pixel size.
Okay.
Meaning it'll be more consistent when you're changing resolution.
Okay.
And you see at the bottom of the canvas scaler, you've got reference pixels per unit.
Yeah.
That is basically like how big is a canvas pixel compared to a world space pixel. So
Okay.
you can change that number to make texts bigger, or if you've got a 9-sliced sprite, it will change the size of the corners and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I think lower is better usually, and then you work with that.
Yeah. Okay.
So you got something to chew on there, but
Yeah.
I'm interested as well to sort of go in on the whole concept of making the prefabs for the cards, because I think you mentioned Mats that you have made the system that allows the prefab to be generated. Because we do have the card. The first thing we made was the card maker.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, card editor. And that can that make them into like make prefabs because you have all the visuals essentially.
Well,
They just
yeah,
need to be
they're all. I
set up
already have
differently.
made prefabs. So in
Yeah.
the card visuals are prefabs. So when I just spawn them into the
Yeah.
world, I populate them. That's how
Okay.
they work. Yeah.
Because then you could then put them into 3D objects with some thickness, and that we could use those particularly for the game field, and then have we can still use the same card ID, right, or the same ID, and then have that be the connector between the two.
Yeah, you would use the same data for both.
Yeah.
It's basically just different
Shell.
different prefab. Yeah, a different shell, a different prefab.
Hmm.
That's it takes the same data, the same information, and just puts it in a different place, basically.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I think that one's going to be pretty valuable to try out, because we need to see how seamlessly we can do it, and we want to do a test with like a big load of cards just to see if it puts a load on.
Yeah.
Because if so, because when is the prefab happening? Are they rendered and made before the game is initialized or launched at all, or does it get initialized when the players like sends a card into the field, or vice versa?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll get like in memory wise, Unity will create the object in the memory when the first one is used.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
first time you spawn a card.
Yeah, because we need to then check how that loads, because one thing that we originally thought of was potentially, because before the game even starts for the player, before you start up the game, right? The game has a list of all the cards, right, and all the stats for the cards, etc.
Yeah.
That can be pushed in like quick builds essentially to change that information. But as soon as you load up the game, what if it then essentially prefabbed the cards and gave the cards graphics, etc. on the load?
Basically he wants when the game starts when the player starts the game, it basically takes the information and the already set backgrounds, icons, etc., and bakes it into a texture and applies that to the card. Basically, that's what he's thinking.
Yeah.
But I don't see why we would need to bake the texture on them.
I don't think you need to.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it would be better for optimization. That's all.
No, not really. I don't think you save much on it, at least.
Okay.
But speaking of like startup of a game, one thing that you do definitely want to do for the future, at least, is that you have all the card data. I presume it's JSON or something.
Right now we have basically just we have the card information, essentially the list of cards with all the info about them. We have it as a Google Doc. But that can quickly be made into a JSON. But I think isn't
Yeah,
like
but-
not necessarily JSON, but isn't that the plan, having a card list essentially?
Yeah.
But yeah, go on, Thomas.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Yeah, because what you want is you want all the cards in the game to be JSON, and then it loads it because you can easily convert between JSON and a class in Unity as a C# class.
Mm.
So you would want to basically load all the card data as from a JSON file, and then you would store it in an array of some kind in
Mm.
Unity. And what you want to do with that as well is that you want to have a date attached to that JSON as well. So one of the fields has to be a date, because what you do then is that you when you launch the game, the game will connect to a server, which it needs to do anyway for multiplayer.
Mm.
And on that server, it will ask what's the newest version of the card data, and then you will get the date back. And if the server has a newer version, you will basically download it and save it.
Mm.
So that because that way you can easily just update the card data online, push it to the server, and every client, every copy of the game will automatically download it the next time they load the game.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that because that way you don't need to make a patch every time there's a card change.
Mm.
You only need to patch when there's new gameplay or new
cards.
actually, yeah. Well, probably not even new cards, because that you can read that through the data as well, because the JSON
well,
class will obviously say
well, the
title,
cards,
subtitle, description.
yeah.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, you go.
The cards are gonna have different. Well, they're not gonna be specifically like they are in real life, where like you put down the card, each player sees that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it does. The card is gonna do a lot of the automation. So
Yeah.
so for example, if it's a nullify card, a card that nullifies another card.
Yeah.
It will ask the player which card he wants to nullify, and it just removes it instantly.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff like that, and that can't be done, I believe, just by updating or adding new cards without actually.
No,
adding
the actual mechanics of the cards is a bit harder, but
Mm.
one thing you can look into. I haven't done it myself personally, but I know that where I used to work, that this is the solution we went for,
Mm.
because we had a lot of unique mechanics per card as well.
Yeah.
So what we did was that we had our main coder made so that the card's ability, the effect that happens when you play it,
Mm.
is read from a Lua script.
Okay.
So he made a Lua parser, which means that the effect is still just text, so you can easily send it through a internet connection from the server.
Mm.
And then Unity reads it as a script, so it reads it real time. But the designer can then basically make cards that can do anything, because you have access to all the different variables.
Yeah, so you have like
It's,
so you essentially make like a script that is targeting a card and then retaining that information, and then one script that is nullifying a card, which is like a general attribute, that many cards can have, but on different sort of different times and different under different conditions.
Yeah.
So that I think we talked about having basically like a library of effects, and then having that be part of like the list of information attached to a card. Like say a card has the effect target, the card has the effect nullify, or the target has the effect roll dice, roll target, roll and then target.
Well, if you think, because we both play a lot of D&D, and if you think a bit in terms of how spells work, you always have a range, right?
Yeah.
So you would have your effect, which would be nullify, and then theoretically you could set the range to be self, so it would just cancel itself. But obviously we'll want to choose single target or a board wipe or something like that, like all targets, single target, stuff like that.
Because we could obviously just hard code each card and just
Yeah.
give it a specific code, but it's much more future proof to basically do it like that, where you have
Yeah.
a library of effects that you can easily identify
Yeah.
and parse. Yeah.
Yeah, and also like if for your range attribute, if you have because you would have self, you'd have single targets, target all, you would have target not not quite sure what I would call it, but a target my own hand sort of.
Yeah, and target set as well.
Yeah,
Target a set.
and because you want like target my own stuff and target the opponent's stuff,
Yeah.
because some cards if you again if you think like in D&D you would have the any ally creature sort of is one thing, and
Mhm.
any hostile creature is a completely different thing, and they
Yeah.
can't. If the spell says any hostile creature, you literally can't use it on a friend,
Yeah.
and you would have the same here as well. So one of the ranges would be only your cards, which would be good for like if you have the opportunity to play multiple cards, for example.
Mhm.
If you've got one card, you put it down and it lets you place two more, sort of
Yeah.
something like that. Then you would obviously be targeting your own cards.
Mhm.
While the nullify one, you would most likely want to set that it can only target opponent cards.
Yeah, exactly. So
So
there's a lot of I think we probably need to put it into like the spreadsheet and just see if we can basically make a parse statement with the information essentially from the description.
yeah,
To just see sort of okay what is needed to make this card work very specifically, and then
yeah,
see how we can logically sort of apply that to other cards as well.
yeah. Yeah,
Um,
that's quite important. Yeah, you take all the cards as you say, and try to split it up into pseudocode, as you would say.
yeah.
Because you would want to see like, okay, some cards, the description might seem like two completely different things, but when you break it down into what is actually happening,
Yeah.
then you would see that, oh, okay, these two are exactly the same, but they target different things. And it's like, okay, then obviously you have the same effect, but you have different target fields.
Yeah.
So yeah, try and break down the cards into like fake code, just so that you can see that kind of stuff. Um,
What do you think, Mats?
Yeah.
Doable?
I'm currently just thinking about the the canvas and the cards.
yeah.
How I'm gonna.
One thing at a time.
Yeah.
So you've the issues that you had yesterday, how did what was suggested solve it, or is that what you're working on right now?
I was thinking of trying two different kinds of cards. One
Okay.
for UI,
Oh, yeah,
one for the game or game field. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Because then it sounds like we've come to the point now then where we split off and let you do your thing, and let you test it out, and figure out. Because essentially what we'll do then is we'll take like half an hour or so, and to try to come up with the first card of the Twitch deck. And after that we'll come back to you and we'll see if you need anything else before Thomas takes off. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You should probably put on picture in picture now on stream.
Well, that
And
doesn't work. Why you know
what?
work?
It probably doesn't work because you've not set me up the same way as on the Discord, and maybe because remember last time it was.
It's because you're not streaming.
I am.
To me.
Yeah, I can see.
What the fudge?
I can see Alistair's screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can now. I can see it. What? It
I'm
didn't want to.
okay.
Oh,
Okay.
but I don't know why it doesn't want to show me.
There you go. No, it does. It works.
Yeah, the full version works, but the small one doesn't work.
Check if it's because you used window capture. Check if it's using the right window, because remember now it's stream with like it doesn't have the Alistair stream in the window. It's
Yeah.
got the both Alistair and Subattender. So, but yeah,
Lock
you'll fix
app
it.
Default lock screen. What?
All right. While you fix that, basically just mute yourself and mute us to you so that the stream can hear, but you can't. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
There you go. Now it works.
Mm.
Now I can see the picture in picture. All
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So, Thomas, hello.
Yeah.
And I can show you the wonderful world of our new cards. These are all completely new and different from the ones that we've played with, because I've kind of started with a new philosophy in mind, to keep it simple.
Yeah.
There are still some slightly more advanced cards, like the classic share is still there, which is I would consider like an advanced card, but they're much more rare and far in between, and there are more like cards that interact directly to the dice.
Yeah.
So I we'll go quickly through what dice we have already here, or what cards we have already, because we've also removed two of the card types. So here's the old one.
Yeah.
Like you see how fucking big the descriptions are here.
Yeah.
And then the new one's like sleek.
Yeah. Keep it simple.
Yeah, exactly.
That is also something. It's not directly related to the description or the effect of a card, but one thing that you will want to keep in mind as well is it's not as important for this game because it's kind of like Uno.
Yeah.
But in big card games like Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone, Slay the Spire, etc. It is very important for them to have so that you can easily know exactly what a card does simply by a glance. So you
Yes.
instantly recognize the title and the image. That's all you
Yes.
need to know because every card is unique.
Yeah.
And that's because in Magic they make a really really strong point about it, and a lot of effort goes into making sure that is true, because most of the time you're seeing cards upside down.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I've actually been paying attention to that myself.
Yeah.
Because it's even if this is like it's still really fucking important for speed.
Yeah.
Speed of play. And that's the reason why, for instance, the titles are always a verb.
Yeah.
And always somewhat describe what you're doing.
Yeah.
And the card color is indicative of the
Yeah, yeah.
action. And we've simplified that even more now, because
Yeah.
aggressive cards now always interact with the dice.
Yeah.
Defensive cards always interact with other cards.
Yeah.
Deception cards always basically alter you or your dice.
Yeah.
Support cards always basically add an effect or
Yeah.
have an effect to you or the players in
Yeah.
at your table.
Yeah.
So it's basically quite simple. But the fun thing though is, of course, now we have the Twitch cards, and they can be just whatever the fuck, They have no
Yeah.
sense for no rhyme or reason. They are the chaos cards.
Yeah.
So hang on, conditional formatting. I need to just make the list properly here now, because I didn't add the list on this new one. Aggressive support, Twitch. Bam, save. Okay, because we don't have to go through all of them.
Yep.
But just like a quick sample of the different types here. So you have like the aggressive cards, the famous one, the add one to target dice.
Yeah.
And then you have the you have defensive. That's the classic one. There is like target health dice can't be altered.
Yeah.
Which is a new one because remember beforehand we had the whole like for one turn or for one round
Yeah.
throw your dice can't be altered, which tended to be quite weak. The defensive
Yeah.
cards are now quite strong.
Yeah.
And they're the only cards that can nullify.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which they have the classic stop, but it's much simpler and it doesn't bounce anymore. You may nullify one card.
Yeah.
Bam, done. Then you have the deception. The classic one, the bluff card. If this card is revealed or nullified, gain 5 score. So it's basically just some bait and switch bullshit. You have the support cards, classic, share. But now we've started to have cards that interact with your discard pile because there's a new rule now. There's not one discard pile. There's each player's discard pile. Because that way we can identify which player has played what cards.
Yeah.
For wild cards such as cheater to be effective and not be a pain in the ass. And once, of course, the deck is empty, you just pile all the cards together, shuffle them, and then that's the draw pile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, you can. I can send you this Google Doc actually. There you go.
All right. It's yeah. I was like, "Where's Discord gone?" And it's because I had put your video feed on full screen. So yeah, okay.
And then you just go to the deck list new.
Yeah, I see.
So yeah, you can just take the time you need to just look over the cards, get some inspiration, because we're going to be making your card. And then you just tell me when you're ready to start. You can ask, see here. Because I need to just take a quick break. So I'll be back in like 5 minutes and you can have a look through the cards. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, see you in a bit. All right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
So you gotta look through the cards.
Yeah, had a quick look through at least.
Ready to start then?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just the general rules for this deck, because as I said, some of the decks have like a general like theme. The theme for Twitch is just fucking wild because they're supposed to be optional.
Yeah.
When you start a game, you can like vote for having that deck. So they can be like overpowered as shit, ridiculous, and make no sense. They don't even need a verb at the title.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just,
Um,
but try to make something that represents you or your channel, basically, because you
Yeah.
will have your channel name at the bottom. I can show you how they look, if I can find it. Give me a sec. Yeah, here you go. This is how yours will look.
Yeah.
So you see with the Twitch.
Yeah.
There.
So there's two ideas that I have at least.
Alright.
One that I think could be interesting is a board wipe of sorts. So you play it, and all your opponents discard their hand and draw new cards.
Oh, so it's like a fucking group-wide mulligan, essentially.
Yeah,
All right. So that's
that's,
basically.
that's one
Yeah.
idea. I
Hang on.
have.
I'll write just the concept
Yeah.
down. Hang on. Group-wide. Yeah.
Another idea I had is because you have the to avoid copyright issues, you have all the numbers you have to fill out on a.
Don't worry, Yatsoid is Yatsoid doesn't infringe upon any non-public
No.
property.
Nope. But yeah. So one thing that I was thinking that could be a really powerful card as well is if you can clear one of your filled-in numbers. So basically, you get a second try.
Hang on, I think we have one of those. It's in support. Yeah, reset target set you've previously completed.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Support card. Yep. But yeah,
Well,
that is
yeah.
a really powerful one.
Yeah.
Well, you can
because-
expand upon that. You can have it like maybe you can reset another player's one so that they've scored yachts.
yeah. So if they get a really high all sixes, for example, you just like
Yeah.
nope. That's gone.
Oh, that's a douchebag card.
Yeah.
That's one card you'd rather want to be able to nullify.
Yeah. Exactly. No, but I think I'm gonna go with a group wide mulligan. It's from my time playing Magic the Gathering. It's one of my favorite things was always to have a full board wipe. Like
especially now that we've even more added the chance to be able to change the cards, so people can actually build up their own hand.
yeah,
To a place where they want and like actually hold a strategy. You will probably notice that a lot of people will like hold on to deception cards so that
Yeah,
they
exactly.
can play like combos and shit, and then you go
Yeah.
like, nope.
Yep.
Try again, motherfucker. It also does add the chance that they will have to draw from the discard pile, which
Yeah.
further increases the chaos.
yeah.
Okay, so how will we work
So
this
let's
now?
see. What is draw a card? You may choose to discard any amount of cards from your hand and draw as many. Okay. So yeah, I would say that all opponents discard their hands, and then draw 3 cards or something.
Hand, yeah, so a set amount each. So basically, it doesn't matter if you have, because I think the lowest hand size we have currently is 4.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, drawing 3
Yeah.
cards would make sense.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah,
again, you have to remember then it would be technically weaker. Well, it depends on your perspective. Weaker on the lower hand size than it would be on the higher hand size, because I think the highest is 8.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big penalty if you've been stacking up cards.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you've been playing everything all the time, it doesn't affect you as much. But it's
Yeah, because all
it's
players
more of
includes
a-
you. Yeah.
Yeah. All players,
All opponents.
all
Should we say-
opponents is.
Should we
not
have
you.
all players just to add to the like?
Yeah, I
Because that
think-
makes
I-
it very wildcard-esque as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think that could work. All players, including yourself, in other words.
Mhm.
Because again, that's like how most board wipes were in Magic as well. You literally reset the entire stage.
Yeah, and then you play around it because you know that you have the card in your hand. You know, like, okay, I should
Yeah,
play
yeah.
like all my cards before this one. Yeah, so it adds some strategy to it. Okay, all
Yeah.
players, including you, discard their hand and draw 3 cards. That's quite simple. Discard their hand and draw 3
So
cards.
can you combine that with the defensive card lock?
Hang on, what the fuck is the defensive card lock again? Hang on. Next time a player targets you with a card, you may force. Yeah. Because it's because it doesn't target
No.
you. It just
No,
targets
it-
all the players.
Yeah, it's not a target. It's
I need to now that you noticed, I might just specify next time a player targets only you,
yeah.
just to make sure that there's no confusion with that one.
Yeah.
All players, including you, discard their hand.
But you can use retreat because you are affected by any card.
Yep. Oh my god! If it's happening on your turn, here's the real question. Here's the kicker. Because is this a standard or instant card?
Yeah.
Because standard cards adds a lot more like planning to it. It needs to be like, you know, it means you can't play it on anyone's
Yeah,
turn. You have to play it
exactly.
on your own. It's
That
obviously going
is-
to be face up though, because it's an instant effect at least.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the point of it being like.
Yeah, there's no point holding it down now. I don't know. It's a good question. It's like because the thing in standard could work fine. It's the build up. It's the planning and tactics behind it. But I can also see that it'll be probably less used because you'll be afraid of clearing your own hand.
Yeah.
While a like the best use for it probably would be the at the end of your turn you would want to throw it out, like, or at the start of the next person's turn, or the just before your turn, like the guy before you.
Yeah.
They're the kind of places where you would most want to use it, I can imagine. So maybe it should be instant.
Oof, that's gonna make it a very spicy card, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why the fuck doesn't this want to format properly? God damn it.
It's supposed to be purple, yeah.
Text contains Twitch. Text contains Twitch. Is there anything else that overlaps it? Because why the fuck does it become green?
Yeah, it's
that-
like a light green.
Hang on. If I
I can't-
remove it, it doesn't work. Hang on, let me try it again. So I do this whole thing, add new rule. Cell text is exactly Twitch. Custom format. Oh, fuck's sake. Custom, yeah. And bold. Nope. Well, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it like this. What the fuck?
Yeah, there is some kind of rule that's overriding it, but I don't get it because it's not on this.
Not on this list.
No, there's
not on
nothing
this
with that
list.
color.
Okay, fuck it. We'll leave it like this for now. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
All right, so it's an instant
the
subspeed.
the strange thing is as well that the header where it says
Yeah.
type
Oh, what the fuck?
is also there. Yeah.
Wait, and that only has that rule. What the hell? Okay, I think it's being a bit weird. I think it's having a bit of a stroke. Don't worry. It does this all the time. Now it doesn't even want to change anything. What the
Yeah.
fuck is going on? Turn off filter. Go away. Does that make any
It's not
sense?
it's not the filter at least.
Well, yeah, it shouldn't be, but you know, never know. Fucking people do. All right. Fuck it. All right. So, yes. So what's the name? Oil sub description. Hang on. It's gotta be this. It's gotta be this basically. So that is just see twitch.tv / the subtender. Bada bing, bada boom.
Yep.
And then what's the name going to be here?
Yeah. I think it might be copyrighted. One of
go
the
on.
names that
No,
I'm
it's-
thinking.
No copyright. Just fine.
Thousand
is it?
Needles.
What's the copyright for that? What?
So a little bit of trivia for everyone. Sabotender, my nickname.
Oh yeah.
Some people might recognize it as the Japanese name for the cactuars from Final Fantasy.
Yeah, Thousand Needles. I get it now.
Yeah, and that's their like ultimate ability, is Thousand Needles, and also it kind of suits because it's like
Yes.
destroying all the cards.
Yeah. Need less. Need else.
Need less, yeah, need
Yeah.
less.
Okay.
I'm
Thousand
pretty sure.
Needles. So your card immediately stands out for being the only one that isn't a verb, but then again, that's the point.
Yeah.
Does it have a cost?
Points cost. Well, the cost is that it's getting rid of your cards as well.
True.
So I
So
don't
no
think it
cost?
needs a cost. No.
All right.
I mean that's the kind of thing that would need playtesting, I guess. I
What?
mean-
Playtesting a Twitch card? You mad? No. Shh, shh. They're supposed to be ridiculous, my man. Like,
Yeah.
Don't worry. Fuck me. Where's it? Hang on. I'm just gonna paste special. So hang on. Hello. Hello. I'm going to take this hello. I'm going to paste
you think-
format only. What the fuck? God damn it. There must be some hidden rule somewhere. Okay, yeah, sorry. What were we saying?
Yeah. No, nothing. I was just thinking, what would happen if we said that it also gets rid of face down cards? But I think that would be a bit too much. You
Oof.
kind of want.
Hang on. No, wait. If you discard 3 or more cards this way, all players must also
Yeah.
nullify their face down cards.
That could work. Yeah, because then it's especially good if you've got a hand yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So you can essentially pay 3 cards to discard
Yeah.
all the fucking cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, so then it actually makes some sense too.
Yeah.
Oof. So you're basically just goddamn putting a fucking fireball on the field. All right.
Yeah.
Great. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
It's a full reset.
Yeah. Text contain. Hang on. If I delete these, because there's some superfluous ones for some fucking reason. Why did
Yeah,
they
I
double
see
line
you got 2 of everyone.
That was the
I-
one. That's
I-
the one.
I don't know what was going on there.
Okay. Text is exactly Twitch. And it's got the purple. What the fuck is going on? Hang on. Go away. Go away. Go away. What the now it doesn't want to go away even if I control set. Thomas.
Try changing it manually again. Just the
I want to see if there's anything here that fucks with this. No. So you see that it's got conditional formatting. So if I turn that, what the fuck? What the fuck? It doesn't want to. Doesn't want to be reset. No. Because when it does, oh my god, it's a monster. Okay, yeah, it is. It is totally just fucking Google being weird. Okay, well, is this your card?
I think so.
All right, this is your card. Hang on. Come on, daddy. Okay, never mind. Okay, yep. So I guess we'll go back to Mats then.
Yeah.
See if we can get a hold of him. Hang on. Mats, can you hear us? Mats, can you hear me? Mats, are you listening? I wanna build a snowman. God damn it. So he gets so okay, now he can talk shit behind his back now that he's not listening and he's just
Yeah.
ignore us. So he always does like focuses. Oh, there you go.
Oh, we can
Hello,
hear him,
he's always a nice guy, and he's just the best of fellers.
but I don't think he can
Hello?
hear us.
Hello? Oh, fuck me. Okay, yeah. So basically, like, if you look at the stream now, we've added like we've added the picture-in-picture camera of my screen here
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
Because there would be some lengths where we would basically go without talking because he was focused a lot.
yeah,
And we even went so far as to like I specifically originally we had like me talking most of the time, right? I would like kind of narrate what was going on and get like his opinion and what he was thinking. But of course, that's just making it very hard for him to work in peace, right?
yeah,
So I was like, all right, you know what? We'll not talk. We'll do it your way, but at least put like a camera and camera so that
Yeah.
they see that there are multiple things going on. And it's just made the whole situation worse. Because now it's like he doesn't feel like he needs to talk anymore.
yeah.
But whilst that is happening, we can. What the fuck is the stream froze? While that is happening, you can have a look at how we've designed the UI to look. If you look
Yeah.
at my screen.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I saw it a bit earlier when we were talking, and that's what wanted me to suggest that you have the hand as canvas and the table as 3D
So
cards.
I can show you the different because we have a lot of very very different versions. Okay, so when it's your turn, this is how it basically. Hang on. This is how it basically looks, right? You
Yeah.
have this thing that's kind of goes down as the timer goes. This basically just shows you the dice and which ones are held. When you hold the spacebar, this bar fills to sort of indicate how like much force you put into the throw. These are like these will like move and change based on the dice you have, and you can literally just click them to score instantly and be done.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking the turns in the game will take substantially shorter time than the actual real world ones.
Yeah.
And then if you want to reference the sheet, you just hold shift and it puts this up, which shows you all the players like you would in real life. You could be able to see all the players.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to we call it the Rain Man vision. If you wanted to get a detailed view of what was going on in the field, bam. And it would basically just like tell you all sort of information like when cards were played, how many discarded cards are, how many discarded cards a player's had, and when that was discarded, how many cards there are left, etc. These would appear mostly. We've been kind of thinking maybe doing it on a hover, so it's like it doesn't pop up all at once, but when you hover over something, it'll like tell you some information about it.
Yeah.
Because this is the sort of thing you go into when you're like you really need to make a play, but you're not really sure. You know, you need to get that crucial information. Like, oh fuck, is that a bluff card? He's had that card out for like 4 turns now. You know.
Yeah.
It gives you the information you need to make those calls. And then we have even further information for the player up here. God damn it, it's fucking hard to scroll zoom in on it.
Use space.
Oh yeah. Thanks. Forget that sometimes. Okay, because then we have the time corner over here. So that shows you the amount of rounds left. So it's 7 out of 14, and you can click on that, and it will. Oh, this is a bit complicated. So, bam, bam. So you get this out essentially.
Yeah.
And then you can click on the rounds. So you see the gray ones are the ones that have passed. And you get this. So you can see what cards were played by who.
Yeah, a log.
Yeah. Because there are some cards that will basically be like if somebody nullified a card last turn, you know, you can you can nullify a card on this turn.
Yeah.
Like we can it basically opens up shit like that because we have technically the player does have that information available. And it's also not cluttering the screen on the base level because you can always just, you know, remove it.
Yeah. You might want to let people, if it's what's the term they use in Magic again? If it's public knowledge, I guess.
Yeah.
The contents of the discard piles. then you will
Yeah.
want people to be able to
We're gonna have a click.
click on
It's
it or
gonna look-
something.
It's
Yeah,
gonna look like this. You click on it, and you'll get the
Yeah.
card like this, essentially.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because that's public information.
Yeah.
And then you have when it's not your turn, you have it like this.
Something you might want to consider as well. It does change gameplay quite a bit, but what we did at work was we also have it's public knowledge which cards are left in the deck, so you can look at the deck. But then it is sorted alphabetically, so you don't know the order of the cards.
Ooh.
You don't know when they're coming, but you know which cards are left in the deck.
So here's the thing, right? All the different features, specifically the feature of the Rainman vision, and the feature of the we call it the time travel machine, and the being able to see what cards are in the discard, all that shit. We've kind of thought of having like specifically having a deck, kind of like aggressive, but being like a meta deck, which opened up these features, and kind of like one of them could be like basically seeing not just all the cards, but literally the draw, like when they are in the
Like scrying.
yeah,
So,
literally like scrying, yeah. But because we have so many UI elements that I think could be a gameplay element of their own.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is one of the things we've had issues with because right, these are supposed to be in the UI element.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be able to fill up the entire here, like underside. So you technically could have all the cards visible.
Yeah.
While it's not your turn. And then when it is your turn, oh shit, that's when it is your turn, this thing slides in, right? The red bar slides in from the left and pushes the cards to the side into the hand, like bunched up again. And I don't know that's not possible without it being in the UI element unless you like time it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing you could do though also is have so that when you have the mouse over the bottom area, they stretch out.
Yeah, we that's one of the things I remember you telling me about earlier, which is the whole click to have it like have a copy of it kind of come in zoomed in almost. We're going to try to do that. I have not designed that. That's actually one of the things I need to make as well. How that's going to look. But we I think a lot of the interaction. One thing that I really want to test with like eye tracking is how much of the game people are going to be basically spending like this.
Yeah, exactly.
because there's no reason to look up here.
No, exactly.
But then again, there's like it's a twofold issue because it's like one part of this is like it's very efficient because you technically don't have to look at anything here. But the other part is that you might end up looking not finding out that the player ahead of you has got like a lock card. That's preventing you from doing something, and you frustratingly click on a card and it's like doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, because the fucking guy has a lock card,
Yeah.
So I think we need to make sure that there isn't too much useful information down here. Because that prevents people from looking up here.
Yeah.
I don't quite know yet how to solve it, but I have an idea. It is kind of wacky, but I do like wacky tobacco. So this word cloud here, right, with different things. What if you've seen the Rain Man movies, right, where you have where he has kind of goes counting cards, and he's got that like it's the visual of just cards floating in the air and like numbers and like math and shit. What if you essentially had that with just the word cloud, a literal word cloud just around the top here, the top bit, like in the game field, almost like almost in a 3D environment, and it would just say like, oh, if you get a 6 now, you get a straight, large straight, and that could score you 60 points. Basically, just in like several numbers flying by, and it's almost like because they would be in the peripheral of the player, right?
Yeah.
And it almost tricks you to being excited. Because you see the big numbers, and you see like, oh my god, is that a Yahtzee? Holy shit, I could get a Yahtzee! And it also, it's also another gameplay element because say they were like moving and bobbing a bit, right? But they were all technically clickable.
Yeah.
you know, and it could become a gameplay element in of itself just to click them quick enough and then actually hit them. So it could like intensify the turns a bit. Instead of it just being easy, because sometimes easy is boring.
Yeah.
So I don't know what your thought on that is, because that is the truly wacky tobacco idea I have.
Yeah, it's I kind of like the idea, but I also don't think it'll fit in really because
Fitting
you,
in.
you do want this to be simple,
Yeah.
right? Not too much going
Well,
on and not too much information really.
I want there to be as simple as the player wants it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's the whole point with Rainman Vision, is because that's information we could technically have displayed at all times,
Yeah.
but it's not necessary.
No.
So if the player wants to add another additional layer of information, they just have to press a key and bam.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the same idea of the word cloud. Maybe if it wasn't there at all times, but if you wanted to, you could like press a button or like hold something down and then it would appear.
Yeah.
Maybe in Rainman Vision you get it, because that's fitting, isn't it? It's like that's when you start seeing the fucking words floating in the sky.
Yeah. Maybe.
By the way, Mats, can you hear us now? Really? God damn it! I swear to God, he's using this as an excuse to go to break, because he's literally put me up at full screen.
Yeah, I see. Oh, he's back. But yeah, no, I think the GUI you have there is pretty good. It's simple, clean.
Simple, clean.
You hear
Best
me?
thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Slag. Yeah. Good. Been trying to get your attention for like 10 minutes.
What do you mean? Just send me a message.
I
This
did!
is-
Look, Runity, unmute. We are done.
Well, you
10
just...
minutes ago.
No. That would just happen.
No, in Discord.
In Discord.
Discord doesn't make sound for me.
Oh, for fuck's sake. How are we supposed to know that?
Some days it doesn't.
Where
make
else
sound.
would we send you a message intuitively?
Yeah. I saw that you were using Voicemeeter, Potato. That's,
Yes.
yeah, I used that as well. Other Mats, Alistair Mats, he knows very well because that's what I used to be able to run a soundboard through my microphone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for D&D, I was making animal sounds and stuff. It was
Yeah, it was good times, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now that you've had some time with the issue, Mats, have you found anything new?
I haven't found anything new. No, I'm still working on it.
How is it progressing though?
Good. Going fine. No problems.
Thanks, man.
I'm currently working on the on hover. Just.
Yeah.
on hover
Oh,
here.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But are you using because that's on hover with the canvas objects in the UI? Oh shit! It looks like the UI now. Fucking A. Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So if I just delete. Come on, computer, don't freeze up. There So if I delete the cards and I add more cards, that's what happens.
What the fuck? Oh yeah, okay. They just plop in. Yeah. Okay.
Currently,
Yeah, because
they plop in.
the trick that we the trick that we thought up earlier, the whole like they come in from the bottom, make it look like they came in from the draw deck, that sort of trick. If you could try to see how that would look
Yeah.
with this method, that would be nice. But yeah, Thomas, remember what you were talking about, looking at having the card zoom and the card hover thing?
Yeah.
If you look at my screen now, that's literally the only thing that I had to do today.
Yeah.
Card zoom design. I also linked, by the way, we have a public Trello for just this development, essentially, where
Yeah.
we've tried to emulate, and I say that with the kindest of words, emulate Scrum.
Yeah.
And we have like basically what we intend to do. Um, when it comes to the Unity, we have another one for the project as a whole, but
Yeah.
when it comes to the Unity development, we have this one. So if you wanna see what progress or not we've done, this is where it's at. And you can see also we've actually made Trello pretty fucking great here because we've added three really big power ups. And
Yeah.
I very much highly recommend using Trello in this way. As this has been really nice. Like we have like story points, and we have parents, and the story points and the parents power up work together to actually see, like, if you look at the parents, you see that they have, like, say this one has 0 out of 16
Yeah.
story points, because it actually sees that the children of this parent has like 12 plus 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really nice, man. It's really nice, and it even knows when it's done. When you just put it into the done fucking column, which normally Trello doesn't do. So that's really nice. Ooh, treasure. Yeah, kittens. Oh fuck, that was a golden treasure. I got like 10 there. Yeah. By the way, Thomas, I'm we on the stream we have like a widget that's called like I don't know
Oh,
what
yeah,
it is,
yeah.
like, where you can like there's treasures that pop up on the stream that if you click them you get like kittens.
Yeah.
And you can use them to like request songs and to like join a game or something when Runery's playing. It's a really cool system actually. And I just doubled my cards. Oh, I want to try and double it again actually. Let's see. Let's pick a card. I will bet 580 kittens. Left card. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Ah, fuck. Lost all the points. Damn it. No. Now I'm down to pleb kittens. Fuck me. All right. Either way, that is about it, Thomas.
Yeah.
It's thanks a lot for joining us and
Yeah, you're
for
welcome.
your fine input. I'm sure Mats has gleaned quite a lot of useful information, and now we finally know that we don't. It's one of those classic situations where it's like, you have two options, but you don't go for either one. You go for both.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what happened here. I love it. All right.
Okay.
And yeah, I hope
Um,
to see you on the stream in the future.
Yeah, and as usual, feel free to poke me on Discord if you need any more help.
Will do, Wayne.
So,
All right. So, I guess yeah, you just leave the call.
yeah,
when you're done.
fine.
I can't kick you.
Yeah. Anyway,
Goodbye,
yeah.
then, mate.
See you around.
See
Yeah,
ya.
Bye.
see you around. See you later today, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, bye. Oh, lovely bloke. All right. So yeah, why don't you do like a bit of a breakdown of what you've been doing, what you done?
I'm currently working on the player hand. Just
Yeah, specifically for the UI, right?
yeah, specifically for the UI.
Yeah.
I made it so that I can have cards come into the hand at the bottom right of the screen,
Mm-hmm.
and if I click on them, nothing happens.
Oh, that's nice. So no change there then.
Because it doesn't know what the fudge it is yet. I haven't completely fixed it. obviously.
Yeah.
And I forgot to check something. Yeah, I'm currently then working on the actual hover. When you hover over the cards, they should pop up a little bit and be a little bit bigger.
Mm-hmm.
They are currently not doing that though, and of course it doesn't work because it's a box collider 2D, and I'm not using a
Yes,
box
of course
collider
it doesn't work.
2D in my and works. It works. I can
It
change.
works. It works. It works.
It works when it works.
No, it works because it works.
Okay, if you say so.
But what are you doing now? You're adding a box collider to the object,
Yeah, I'm adding a
so
box
that it
collider.
actually has like a mass,
No, it's more because
so that it can be interacted with.
Yeah, I'm using a ray tracing. So
What?
where
Really?
the camera or where the mouse is in on the screen.
Yeah.
When currently I've set it so that when I left click, it sends out the ray tracing ray tracer, and if it hits a card specifically, it
Wow.
sets that as the hover
The-
card.
this- yeah, the
basically,
display card, the
yeah.
displayed card.
Let's see, and I
Yeah.
have it here in the player. Let's see. Yeah, it sets it as the it gets the ID of it, and from the card hand, and
Yeah.
it sets that as the hover ID.
Uh-huh.
And when it sets that as the hover ID, I have a method here called hover, and as long as that hover ID is not -1, because that means we don't have a card to hover.
So basically, you have each card has the ability essentially to hover, and then when that ability is called upon by the hovering ray trace, you activate it, and it does what? It transforms it to position.
Yeah, it just moves the local position
Yeah.
up with 1 currently.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much I actually need, so just put it to 1. It doesn't matter much. I can see that if it slightly moves, it's good enough for now. So
Yeah.
then I can just change it to a bigger number if I need to. But yeah, it will then only move that specific card up, because that's the ID of the card.
Mm-hmm.
And when I click, for example, away from one of the cards or onto one of the other cards, it changes it. If I click, say, in the just at one of or if I click on the skybox, for example, it'll
Mhm.
put the hover ID to -1, and none of the cards will hover.
Wow, that's actually quite smart, because that's a nice way to reset the hover.
Mm-hmm.
And then it also, but what if you go perfectly from one card to the other? Will the hover ability, is it exclusive to one card, or can 2 cards technically have the hover?
No, one card can only have the hover.
Okay.
So the idea that I had was that when I used the method set hover ID,
Mm-hmm.
and before I actually set the ID to the new ID, I just place the old card or the old hover card ID position back down to 0, and and then I set the hover card ID. So
But all of this, except for the whole like which card has the hover, is baked into the card information itself, or the card script. No, never mind. Doesn't work either way.
And no, it's the player hand that is using or doing the hover.
Oh yeah, I see now. Player hands. Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, then
So
it's fine.
if,
Yeah, because I was wondering, like, holy shit, if each card is gonna contain that code, and oh my god.
No. It doesn't need to have that code. Hand hover, and maybe I should enable it. Technically now, if I haven't forgotten anything else. Argument out of range. Of course it is.
Out of range.
Yeah, the hover card ID is not -1.
Uh,
Right. Hang on. Where am I? Hovering hand 70. Oh. And okay, so if the overhand card idea is not -1 and hand dot count not equals to 0. So or just more than 0. That yeah, just more than 0. There we go. Now it shouldn't try to do it when we don't have a cards in hand. Hello?
yes, hello, it's I.
Goodbye. My people needs me.
Goodbye and thanks for all the fish.
That wasn't supposed to happen. Oh right, the local position thing. Right.
Oh
right,
yeah,
right,
you
right,
don't
right,
reset the local position. Oh, that's kind of a fun game. Wait, so it just continues if you don't hover over any of them? What the fuck? How did one of them just fucking fly off?
Yeah. Well. Huh?
Huh? I don't know. What do you mean?
I added the position
No
that it
cards flew
already
off.
had +1. So I don't need to
Fucking
add
nuts.
that position as well. I don't need that. I just need to put it to specific numbers.
Yes, you just put it to like being like because if you have it, you know the height that the cards are going to have because they're just coming in from a width like from the horizontal axis. You can
Mhm.
just set it as a specific vertical axis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, +1 magic. Love it. God damn it. If Thomas was watching now.
What
The fuck? Did you set an X position too? Jesus fucking Christ. They probably also now have a specific position because they've inherited the because you put it as 0.
Yeah.
0 is absolute.
0 is absolute. Absolutely.
Nice. that's a quote of the day.
Let's try this then. Back down to 0 there. Oh right.
What is it now? What the fuck? Oh, now you've got it to actually move a bit then. So
Yeah,
and
yeah,
but
yeah.
why are the cards Mats? Why are the cards floating? I feel like there's some impending doom about these cards. They're just kind of slowly floating away.
No. Okay, so the thing now is that cards added to when you add a card.
Am I seeing visions, or are those cards really just moving a bit? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Man, you've done some weird shit. I think I'm getting like really like unsure of my perceptions here because they're not Are they moving based on like relative to something? Because they're like
Yeah.
I swear something is just slightly moving. This is really fucking up my perception here because it feels like the game field is moving maybe. Is the
Yeah.
game field moving?
It's the okay. So the horizontal layout group, the child alignment is set to lower right. It's
I'm literally getting seasick from looking at you. I don't know why. It's really weird.
okay. So all the cards normally want to be in the lower right, like this.
Yeah.
They're aligned to the bottom right. But when I then set the position, I set the up and down position, so Y, and I put that at I set it. Well, I thought that the zero position basically was from where it was,
Where it wasn't.
but it's in the middle of the field, so it actually moves this thing to the card that's selected here. Its position should be at 0 plus 5 currently.
Ah, fuck! I
Up
missed
and
the
down?
treasure chest. Yep.
And when I then click on each of the other cards, it
Oh, God.
puts all of them up to 0 plus 5 and sets
Oh.
the old one back to 0. But they're all
The
they should-
zero is
they
now-
should be
yeah.
like minus 20 or something. That's the like
Yeah.
the 0.
Well, that's how
position.
position. Well, don't you need to just have it? Because what's the parent is the canvas that they're on, right?
Yeah, no, it's
So why don't you
field.
just use
The
the
horizontal-
absolute position? Use the
I'm
absolute
gonna
vertical.
use the middle right.
Oh, god damn it! That's not gonna help.
I didn't, because that put it down slightly. What the fudge?
Well, obviously, because you set it as a static position now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm still
static horizontal.
I still add.
What? This is so weird.
Yeah,
This
I
is
know.
so fucking weird. and we just got confirmed that that Thomas is indeed watching. So you're just pissing your pants in front of him. God damn. He's not normally like this, Thomas.
Let's see.
Do you have music on the stream?
I don't.
No. God damn it, Mats.
I can turn it on now.
Yes, you should. Just so that we have the low chance of being muted when we look at the VOD. Because oh, what a blessing that would be, right?
No, this video that I have here doesn't have that problem.
You say that,
Well, it didn't
but
happen
do
yesterday,
you trust? It might have. Have you checked?
did it? I did.
Hang on, let me check. Said I don't trust you. Hang on, yesterday. Making card game from stats. Oh, you're right. It's not been muted. Alright, alright. Sure, buddy.
Okay, now I'm a little bit confused.
A little bit. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I copied the vector that I had here with adding 5 to what I thought was 0. But I've actually put it to 5 for both of them, so I'm not quite sure why it's actually moving when I click on it.
When you click on it, or you hover it.
I click on it. Well, it's supposed to be the hover, but I've set it to click for the moment.
Okay. Because I feel like this is something that needs to be solved, because this is quite fundamental.
Oh, really? You think it
Yeah.
should be solved?
I think this is one of those things, you know, one of those rare cases where something needs to be solved. And it just needs to be solved, you know. Because it's about position. What the? This is weird. I feel like I'm on acid trip looking at this shit. Just looking
you
at the
are
cards.
on acid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really fucking terrible acid that makes me fucking hallucinate cards moving weirdly.
I mean, it slightly moves it up when I click on it. When it's...
What the fuck is Thomas? If you're watching this, is the game feel like slowly rotating or something in your Wii U as well? Because I swear to God, it's moving.
rotating?
Yes, I don't know. It's as if the camera is rotating or something. And it's like, I don't know, man. It just creeps me the fuck out.
Are your eyes okay?
No, that's what I'm wondering. Are my eyes okay? I need a confirmation here. Because I'm genuinely getting seasick watching, because I feel like, you know, it's one of those tricks of the mind where you like look at something in the distance and then something in the peripheral changes and you're not quite sure what. And it's like, really jarring. Oh god, I need to stop watching the stream. Oof. God damn.
Because this is what it's supposed to be. Like this. Ish. But this is...
Look at the chat. Mats.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Fucking swear that goddamn's moving. I'm doing the old classic trick of like putting my mouse in the exact same position of one of the pixels of the background to see if it moves. Doesn't seem to be moving, but it's still really fucking jarring. Mats?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh god, I'm really getting queasy looking at the stream. I don't know why. It's not moving. I can tell it's not moving now because I got the mouse over it.
What
But
do
I'm just
you
really
mean
good.
moving?
I
It's not
don't
liquid.
know. No. No, but it feels like the camera's like kind of panning or something. I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
I will...
Just listen to Thomas, okay? Just read the
yeah.
goddamn chat and just ignore me being paranoid. I feel like I've actually taken acid at this point.
Yeah, I think I understand what you mean. I don't have the jumpy bug here specifically, but I know what you want or what you mean with the jumpy thing. Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's actually why I changed it to click, so I didn't have that problem. One problem at a time.
I dream I know deep up my feelings for you. Watch them grow, perceive, devote. This is the seed, like the show. Watch them grow. I dream I know deep up my feelings for you. Watch them grow, perceive, devote. This is the seed, like the show. Watch them grow.
Well, no, I well, I have the visualizer, but I don't feel like the visualizer should handle the hover specifically. It just sets the information on the card.
Go with you, I mean it both. See in my heart, it bends for you. I adore you. I dream I know deep up my feelings for you. Watch them grow, perceive, devote. This is the seed, like the show. Watch them grow.
Where am I moving the cards now?
What?
Oh, they're way too high up.
They're into space, space,
Yeah.
space.
So 35 is way too high. Just saying.
Jesus Christ.
Just try just one, but yeah, that works. Oh yeah.
Normal card visualizer. Yeah, he's got a point, man. It's pretty much the definition of a visual effect, isn't it? Moving the visual.
I suppose. But
Yeah, there you go. Bounce, 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 bounce. That looks fucking funny.
yeah, right now, let's see. I have the problem where it actually just it doesn't care what ID it is, but I need to check if the ID that we're trying to set isn't what we already have.
But you let it go. Look, see, I remember when I met you as a sophomore. Started out as friends, but I knew
This,
that we
and then
would
I won't
want
have
more.
that.
Hit your favorite restaurant
Yeah,
with your
there
favorite
we go.
dress on. That's one of my favorite memories that I've kept on the road with me. I know it's crazy how things change so quick.
Oh fuck. Just remembered we have that goddamn meeting with Amici today. Did you have money for it, or did you want me to? I can hang on. We'll talk about it later.
There we go. I'm clicking as hard as I can. On the same position, nothing happened. Just when I click on the card.
But remember, are you gonna get the bounce effect though? AKA if it's actually on hover, because that's how it's supposed to work, right? It's supposed to be on hover. You also,
Well,
so
it do-
I think if we consider the reasoning for this hover effect, right? It's to indicate to the player that you have now the option to select this card. It's like a visual indicator to your mouse does indeed work. I'm not joking. That's basically what the hover effects are.
Well, the hover can also.
So make it a little
scale.
bit less.
I can make it scale up a little bit as well, so it's easier to actually see the card.
Yeah, but because so I want there to. I think the best way is because the hover shouldn't have too much of an effect. It should be quite subtle. But then when you click it, that's when you get it like fuck. Because if you want to play quick, you know, you're supposed to know what the cards do, and then kind of quickly click it, and then click the target, and then that's the interactions, all the interactions that you should have. You shouldn't have to click, hover, click, click, click. That shouldn't be necessary. So maybe because okay, so with how small you made the cards look, right? Which is kind of how small they are supposed to be looking, because that's the position they need to take up in the UI. It's not readable, right?
Yeah, it's
Or is
not
it?
readable.
Have you tried the first?
Well, I haven't
it?
had it in maximized, no.
Because that might be an indication. But so it's not. And also, why are they spaced so weirdly? Why don't you just like be a normal person and have them like just take up more space the more they the more cards there are, instead of it having to scale from the center. Either way, my point is that if you do a hover where it zooms in on the card, it's going to make it harder to hover over additional cards. So if you want to click a specific or hover over a specific card, right? You could have it, if it zooms out, it will.
It's not hard to actually click on the card, so I'm trying now.
Yeah, clicking isn't hard, but hovering is. Especially if they also zoom. For that effect, it's very easy, because they just move up. They just move up, right? So it's no problem. Right now, it's not a problem. But when you add a zoom, when the card becomes bigger and takes up more space, it's going to cover some of the other cards. But Thomas came with a good suggestion here. You can have a large preview on a timer that comes after hovering for 2 seconds. I think that one is good. Because remember, we're also going to have one of the things I'm literally designing now, which is the when you press like tab or something, I guess we'll figure out which button, you can actually get like a big fucking list, like a full screen list of all your cards. But that is more for like when there's downtime. But if you actually just want to have a quick indication, you can then have it like if you hover over it for more than a second or something, then it'll like come in closer, then it'll do the zoom.
Yeah.
And yes, Thomas said basically having it not be at the same place as the hand. Maybe because we do have when this is supposed to be happening, it's probably going to be the player's turn, because that's when you want to reference your cards most likely. But you don't need to know what player 4 is like, what his face looks like, and how many cards he has. That is not very relevant information right then. So I guess having it, if you look at my screen now, we will. So card hand, player's turn. Yeah. So we'll go to the card hand, this one, and then we'll do this. So we'll have the yeah. We'll have to have this make this bigger. What? Oh. I did select juice. For fuck's sake. Have it become bigger. Oh, what? Bigger. Like this, I guess. And then just ignore this fucking thing. Bigger like this, essentially. So you hover over it, it gets up a bit. It just goes up, so this is when you hover. Just moves up like this.
Yeah, I get it.
And then when you hover for longer, it shows up as a preview on here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can click it as well. So you don't need to move your mouse. If you're unsure, you just wait. And it's like, it's the normal action you would do when you're unsure either way. You would just like wait for a minute. You would try to read it and then pop, up comes a bigger version. Because we knew what you were thinking. We're mind readers. But yeah, I think what Thomas suggested there is a good idea. So I think we should go for that. And it's like, as I said, it's a bit lopsided to cover the player 4. But then again, you could just not hover and then you would see that information. And it's not information you constantly need either way, so it's fine.
Hmm.
And yeah, as Thomas said, it's not the actual card that is shown. It's just a clone.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. That's just.
Why is the bot doing weird shit? Why did the bot just here's the link to Trello? I'm guessing because you made the bot respond to specific code words and didn't have them
No, it's on a timer.
look for context. Oh, it's on a context.
But
Why does
I've
it say here's the link? That's fucking out of context, isn't it?
It
Where's the
is
link?
because I copy pasted it wrongly. Okay.
Goddamn bot criticism. I apologize, bot. I didn't mean to be mean. You know I love you. The bot, that is. You didn't even do it right. You didn't even fucking do it
I
right.
didn't need to.
God damn it. Now probably change over to your screen.
Nah. I would like everybody to look at your screen.
Please don't.
Mm.
Please hear my verse. Cause yeah, they said it, but I said it first. So in a sense, I gave these niggas birth. That's why my fans in my show screaming, take me to church. No suit and tie, but baby, I go to work. Don't do it for the money, but that's one of the perks. If y'all got the shovel, then I got the dirt. 'Cause burying rappers what I mean when I say take them to church. And I'm more influential, cause I'm somewhat anti-governmental. When I feel like all I need is God, I don't really give a fuck if I offend you. I don't really think you know what I've been through, but it's something I'd rather not get into. Cause I can't put my life inside a pencil, when it's something I'd rather not pretend to be able to do. When I ate full of shrooms, couldn't paint when I paint. When the bass goes boom and the lights go low, when they call it magic, like I'm rocking a cape in the room. Mental patient, escape from the room, now I'm out the basement, headed straight for the moon. And it might be some black shit, but I feel like I'm radioactive. From here on earth, please hear my verse. Cause yeah, they said it, but I said it first. So in a sense, I gave these niggas birth. That's why my fans in my show screaming, take me to church.
So, how's it going? Why don't you do a breakdown of what you've been doing?
Already?
Already?
I'm not
Yes.
done with anything yet.
Well, why don't you do a breakdown of what you're halfway through doing then?
So I made a delegate event that the card preview is listening to,
Yeah.
and it should then update the preview with the information about it.
Mhm.
So currently, I don't care if it goes away or not. Here, it's just I just need it to populate the card with the right data,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's basically what I'm doing.
Can you do it? Can you put it in full screen? I want to see like what the card's legibility is. The yeah.
Pretty readable.
Yeah, wait. Screen magic. Yeah, it's very readable. Good. So is that the size that the cards it can be? Because I think that's the preview, right?
That's the preview. Just the preview.
I think it can even be bigger, but it doesn't need to be. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But it does have some space to fuck around there.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's not supposed to be there all the time anyway.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm just
So-
saying that it's yeah, exactly. That's why you have more space to fuck with even.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at my screen, I will see what I've gone because I'm proud of it. I'm #proud.
Yeah.
I've basically done what Thomas said about the Discord. Discard. Yeah. And I've now added it as a menu. So when you click on, say, a discard, any discard pile, you will get this up. That'll
Yeah.
show you the cards and which round they were discarded from, and which player this card is. Yeah. I think it's like real nice. So it's gonna be like multiple cards down, so it can basically fill the entire screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you think?
That works. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's also, I feel like we're kind of cheating because we are essentially like presenting the players with, look how much information you have available, by like essentially having that and the fucking Rain Man vision and the Wayback Time Machine and all that sort of shit, but it kind of just shows the same information, just presented in a different way. And that sort of adds to the feeling of like, I have full control over everything that's happening. I know everything. but in reality, you've just been told the same information just the last couple of times. Like in Rain Man, you can see how many cards there are and what the last card was, right? And in Time Machine, you can go back and you can look what happened on specific rounds, and you can see every player. You know, you basically have like a sort all list of all the players. And then if you want to look at a specific player, you can just click on their discard pile. And I don't know, it's even if I joke that it's repeated, I feel like it's intuitive at least. It's like I need to know exactly what this player has been discarded. You look at the discard pile. If you want to look at what's been happening over the last couple of rounds, you go in the round tracker. And if you want to know what's on the table, you look at the table view, the Rain Man vision. Right? So I don't know, it makes sense. It's just, but yes, it's. Let's just say we have a lot of work ahead of us with all these new UI elements I keep adding. So I am sorry. I'll just like to get that out. But then again, you know, with all the the whole part about the information being duplicated means that we also already have that information, so we don't have to make it all over again. So that's nice. It just has to be displayed. But yeah, that's me.
Alright then.
Yeah.
One more half an hour.
Yes. So last sprint. Last sprint.
Sprint. Fine with me.
there praying for sunshine. The plan that don't work out as A through Z. Looking at rappers, it's lunchtime. Sick of the drugs and the groupies. Hustling, homeboy, it's crunch time. Praying to God he don't lose me. Shout to my family one time. Putting my thoughts on a loose sleeve. On the Bruce Lee of this rap shit. Sometimes this life will get lonely and cold, so go make sure that you bring a jacket. Putting my heart and my soul in this music. I can't wait too far to turn back, bitch. People all told me that I wouldn't make it. Now they the ones saying congrats, kid. Used to keep money that I made from hustling right there up under my mattress. Now I ain't tripping, don't worry about slipping. I got an account for that shit. Stood on my own 2 feet, nothing was handed to me. Every day I would practice. Struggling every day, trying to find myself in this world that's full of madness. Stressed out, working hard, going through some shit, put my trust in God. Everybody telling me that I should stop, but my middle finger's up, screaming fuck them all. Every single day of my life, I'm putting up a fight, trying to figure my right from wrong. Hella shit on my mind, no time for the bullshit, boy, I gotta work hard.
When you're alone, life can be a little rough. It makes you feel like you're 3 foot tall. When it's just you, well, times can be tough. When there's no one there to catch your fall. 3 foot tall. Like you're 3 foot tall. 3 foot tall. Catch your fall. When you're alone, life can be a little rough. It makes you feel like you're 3 foot tall. When it's just you, well, times can be tough.
I can't believe the night lay waste to all we give back. But honestly, you've gotta know that this ain't living, but we could run.
Yeah, I was really unlucky there, but to get 5 freaking or 3 actual cards that are the same.
What do you mean?
Okay. So,
Oh, when you spawned it? Yeah.
yeah. So 3, 1, 6, 5, 2, 3. Yeah. that
Oh, so
works.
you're testing it with like different cards.
Mhm.
Okay. So,
I mean, it works. It updated. It's updated.
but can you
like,
make it so that the hover is just
Yeah,
far
I-
less effect? Like, cause I just wanted to hover a bit, not that much.
Yeah. That's easy.
Man, this PSD is getting massive.
So like this.
I'm not seeing it yet, so. Yes, there you go. Is it actually hovering on hover now? Or is it just still clicks?
And it still clicks.
Can you make it hover just to see if there's any issues with that? If you get the bounce.
Okay, so you ready?
Yeah. Yeah. That looks responsive. Isn't that satisfying? Then if you and then you have it when you hover over. Oh shit! Oh yeah, it actually. So, but yeah, you have so that the preview hub pops up. It's not there at all times, of course, and then it pops up only when you hover over for a set amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
And bam, I'm done with all the different card zooms, card views at least. The discard and the hand view, which also actually now shows the face down card, even though you can still click on a face down card to show it, just so that you get like essentially an overview of all of your cards.
Mm-hmm. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
Like a fire that burns so bright. I was day and you were night.
All right, I've now saved all the different sort of big views into like a concept folder.
Mhm.
So we have like photos of each of the different views here,
Yeah.
so we can show. Pretty cool. So now we have something to show. I'm really fucking happy with how the UI turned out, man. But yeah, we need to talk about today's meeting, so I think we should close off the stream now. For now, do like a roundup.
Sure.
So I am officially done with the Zoom design, which means that the Epic, I think, is done. Game UI, yeah. Fucking ace. I don't know if you put an Epic to done, but well, it's now done. Either way, yeah. So did you get to finish the? So you got the hover done, and
Yeah.
you made it so that the preview kind of works, but doesn't work as intended yet. And we have decided to go with the canvas for UI and a 3D element for the play space. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Ooh, chest.
No. I just started to move some code over to another script for the card hover, for the hover child.
Yeah.
The card. So that handles the hovering instead.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
A little bit cleaner.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah.
It also allows me to add the timer, so that the preview
yeah,
only
yeah.
pops up when
When it's been hovered over for a
X
few.
amount of time. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, that's I guess that's it for today's stream. This was a really nice and fruitful stream. We having a guest, especially one as knowledgeable as Thomas, was a pretty big benefit, I think. I think we should try to do more of those.
Absolutely.
I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed watching some of it, at least. And I guess I see you in the next stream or in the next video.
Yep. See ya.
So let me catch you. So let me catch you slipping by.